This is Linda Howard, and you're watching a cook tip from Alternative Fitness. Okay, we're making a vegan quiche today. This is great for breakfast. It's a great meal for brunch. You can also use a quiche for lunch or dinner. So this is a great dish to master, and it's very quick. It's very easy. I'm opening up some organic tofu. Drain the water out. And you can blend this by hand, but putting it in a food processor is a lot quicker and a lot easier. And I'm going to add just a little bit of soy milk. Sometimes I don't measure everything out, so I'm just going to add a little bit of soy milk in here. Get the consistency right. And we're going to put this in the food processor. I'm going to take it over here and blend it to give it a nice smooth consistency, and then we're going to add some other ingredients in. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to blend it. Just want to get a nice smooth consistency with this. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and dump it into the bowl. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some vegan cheese. And there are lots of different types of vegan cheese. So if you have your preference, then use your preference. This is the one that I like. It melts very well. And I really like the cheesy taste, so I'm going to really dump this in. Now with the quiche, you can do your quiche any way you want. You can add different types of vegetables. You can make a broccoli quiche. You can make a mushroom quiche. Today, I'm going to do some greens. I'm also going to do some tomatoes. They don't have to be perfect size because they're going inside of the quiche, but I just diced them up a little. And I like to use all organic ingredients when I cook. A meal is only as good as the ingredients that you start with. Now I'm going to put a lot of tomatoes in this because tomatoes are going to be pretty dominant in this dish. But if you wanted to dominate with another ingredient, you can just add a few tomatoes. You can even throw leftovers into this quiche, vegetables that you might have had from the day before. Our tofu mixture back. We're just going to get these tomatoes in there. And I'm also going to add mushrooms. And again, we're going to dice up our mushrooms. And I'm going to set the mushrooms aside because we're actually going to saute these mushrooms just a little bit before we put them into the quiche. So I'm going to use a little bit of organic cold pressed olive oil. Just a little bit of oil. Move that oil around. We're going to do a quick stir fry. I'm going to add some onions. And we're going to add in our mushrooms. And these don't need to get real done because remember we're going to add them to our quiche. And the quiche is going to go in the oven and cook. I just want them to cook a little bit, get a little flavor in. Add some of our greens. I'm just going to let that saute for a minute. And we're sauteing this. And I'm also going to add some Bragg's liquid amino acid. Just a little bit to taste. And I do Bragg's because it gives you that salty taste. Add that right in. I'm just going to mix that in good. And you can add all kind of spices to it. Just do it to taste. Sometimes I add cayenne pepper. I may do fresh black peppers. You can add Italian spices, but just use your creativity. This is a little thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more of our soy milk. Okay, that's looking better. Now we're just going to take this and we're going to dump it into our pie shell. Now I cheated today, so I used this store-bought pie shell, but this is an organic spelt flour. So if you have a intolerance to gluten or you're just trying to stay away from gluten, you can use the spelt. There are lots of different gluten-free pie shells out there, or you can use a whole wheat pie shell. Just going to dump this right in. We'll smooth that out. And I did save some of our cheese because we're going to add some cheese to the top. As I said, I really like the cheesy taste, so I'm going to really add this cheese on top. And that's our vegan quiche. So we're going to place this in the oven, and you're just going to place it in the oven. I put it on about 375. I don't like to cook things at too high of a temperature, but you're just going to put this into the oven until it gets solid and the cheese is melted well. Okay, so our quiche is out of the oven, and this is the quiche after it's baked, and you just want to kind of get it to its a nice consistency. So you have our nice cheese on top. But this is a good meal, and you can serve this for breakfast. You can serve it as a brunch. You can also serve it for lunch, and you can also do it as dinner.
That was a cook tip. Turn it up.